we go. It's your coach, Pauly C, Austin, Texas. I'm with Nicole Young. All right, good. Make sure that those are good. All right. So, hey, I'm excited to have a conversation with you guys today about Nicole Young because you've been coming to Power Hour, right?
Yes.
And Nicole's an experienced agent. She's had success. She's been a successful investor. And so she's had the real estate talk. She's had the ability to engage people with conversations. And so when she started coming to Power Hour, there's some reluctancy, as does most experienced agents who come around Power Hour is, well, I know how to talk to people. I know what's going on. I've done deals.
Right.
So tell me a little bit about that onset, about where your mindset was and what happened, and then kind of walk us through what began to happen.
Yeah, sure. So I started going to Power Hour when I first started coming to the Market Center, which was about 2 years ago. And I walked in with that mindset of like, I got this. Like, you're teaching me how to talk to people. Like,
Right.
I got this. Because I've been in it for a while. So
Yeah.
walk in and start listening to the repeat approved move, and tried to get it out of my mouth, and I couldn't, and I was fumbling everywhere.
What do you think it was, just because it was the formula, or your mindset blocking you, or
mindset? I think was blocking me, but also I think it was just retraining your brain, like you tell us. You know, we're always retraining our brain, and so it's hard to break old habits.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought, being a little prideful, that I knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
And so I would go, and I felt really stupid because I didn't sound as good as some of the other people in there who had been going for a while.
Right.
So I stopped going.
So the ego kicked in a little bit.
Ego kicked in.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to look stupid. I had a hard time.
And so how did you come back? Like, what brought you back?
Mindset. I knew that I needed it, and I was listening to your videos and watching your videos, and I was getting in my own way, and I was saying that I wasn't, but ultimately I was.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to be better.
So Nicole's super D personality,
yes.
too, right? Like, so type A, driver. And there was one day specifically in Power Hour where you were talking about a scenario where you had a client, and there was some, they were having some limiting beliefs, and they were stuck in this spot, and how Power Hour helped. Like, there was like an epiphany, like a light bulb went off, and you said, okay, I get it. Like, I see how this is helping me connect with people at a higher level,
yes.
and create more awareness with me, so I can serve
yes.
at a higher level.
Yes.
What was
two of those
right.
massive impact deals. One was my largest sell at that point, so it was a $548,000 sale, and so she was a high IS, which is, you know, sociable but also reserved, and her
feelings oriented,
yeah, and D's and C's, as we know, aren't that way. And so I was like, this makes sense, the numbers make sense, do this, and I wasn't getting through to her, and she was in foreclosure, and I really wanted to help her, and she just kept talking about the fact that she hand pulled the weeds, and I just like couldn't get past this.
But I pulled the weeds.
You're in foreclosure, like you don't have like, and so
people get stuck.
They get stuck, and we get stuck as professionals. Right? Like, I'm like, this makes sense. Like, you don't have the luxury at this point. You're about to lose everything. And for me, where I was driving in that she didn't have that luxury, she was driving in, you better get me or you're not getting me. Like, you've got to connect with me. And I literally spent 2 months on this client trying to get this listing, and I eventually got it because I started coming to Power Hour, and I started paying attention to the feelings side of things, and understanding that it's not always about money, and it's not always about bottom line. As an investor, that's what it was for me. So making that shift, and actually that was not the $548,000 one, but that was a high S.
Right.
But then 2 weeks later, the other issue came up where I had to make her see the house. This woman had looked at over 100 houses in 2 years. 100
I remember this story.
Yeah.
She
calls me on my listing. I had a listing, a $568,000 listing listed.
From the one that you took.
From the one I took.
Yeah.
And she calls me on that listing as a sign call. And it didn't end up being the house for her.
And she said she was working with another
realtor.
I remember that.
She was just calling listing agents because her agent was out of town.
Right. I don't need help. I'm working with somebody.
Help. Yeah, and we had a great conversation. She
Experience
was
too. She's
mortgage.
bought
she's
investment properties.
Yeah.
I'm a lender.
She was a lender for 20 plus years. She hired Max Lehman, who's one of the number one lenders here in Austin.
Mm-hmm.
So she knew what she was doing.
Right.
Had a casual conversation with her, and in that conversation, it ended up lasting 30 to 45 minutes. And if you know me, that's hard.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, you're not buying from me. I'm walking.
Yeah.
You
like
know?
15 minutes is long for a deal.
Yeah. Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Let's
go.
go.
I know.
I'm done.
Yeah.
But just really connected, and I don't even know how I did it. It was almost like when we walked away from the situation. I had one of my buyer's agents with me, and when we walked away from the situation, I got in the car, and she said, "Who are you?" And I was like, "I don't know what just happened." It's like when do you ever say something and you're like, "Who just said that?"
Yeah.
Oh, that came from me.
Yeah.
So that whole experience was that way for her. She called me up the next day and said, "Hey, I'm wondering if you can show me 2 more properties." And
so, but part of that, rewind just for a second.
Yeah.
Part of that, being in that like zone that you were with her, from our prior conversations, was rooted in this intrinsic, like this internalization of Power Hour, as far as asking good questions, listening carefully, using good think feel questions, open-ended questions versus closed-ended questions that allow that conversation to just more organically flow.
Right.
I remember you telling me.
Come from curiosity.
Coming from curiosity, right?
You constantly tell us that, and as a D, I don't have that naturally.
Yeah.
Like I don't.
Well, it's like hurry up already.
Yes, yes. And I get told often, and even in the office, I used to get told all the time, like, "Well, we just thought you didn't care. Like you're very like abrupt, and you're very and that's so not my heart if you know me.
Right.
I'm a DS, so like that's a battle in and of itself.
That's
and so
personality disorder.
Yeah, completely. There's like 2 of me. So when people were coming to me telling me that, it was a combination of, okay, Power Hour is teaching me to pull more of my S out when I need it, and let go of that D a little bit and make those connections and come from curiosity. Because I am curious, but not at work.
Yeah.
At work, it's like a different mode. Obviously, I wasn't going to get as many clients as I possibly could.
And now there's this compound effect where even yesterday you're like, I just got this expired appointment because you hadn't been prospecting expireds.
No, never.
And I'm like, you are totally should be taking 1 expired listing a month. I mean, 12 a year. If your average price points in Austin's hanging around, $10,000 for your GCI, average GCI.
Right.
That's so you have $100,000 you can pick up on the side.
Yeah, absolutely.
On the side. For expired listings, and then she came to my door and she wrote on a piece of paper, "I got one."
I did.
Right? So this is compounded, right?
Yeah.
As far as how you're communicating with other people. Has it affected you in other ways, or is it, primarily in the prospecting portion of it, or?
No, it's affected everything. So when you're in the middle of a deal and your client starts to like overreact, or something scares them, because this is a big ordeal for them.
Right.
Me as a professional, I do this every day, so I always tend to forget how big of a deal this is, and because I was an investor 10 years previous to getting my license, I was used to that mindset. It's like it's a money thing. There's no, and it's not. It's emotional. Even with investors, I have some very emotional investors that are
because they get emotional about their money.
Yeah, money or like return or like just are they making a good investment? They get scared. They're all these things, and so it's been prospecting, it's been getting the deal closed. I've been fortunate enough that I've only had 1 deal ever not close if I put it under contract, and that's something I'm proud of. However, I know that Power Hour has helped that, because it's helped me go, okay, let's talk through this crazy, weird situation that we're in, and are we overreacting? And of course I never say that, but like being able to see what they're feeling and or thinking.
Recognize it and then respond more positively and progressively. Correct. So that I can understand, so that I can serve. It's all that good stuff. Yes. Hey, you're in Austin, Texas. Come check out Power Hour. Email me or contact me. You can email me, Pauly C at kw.com, or hit me up. All my information's online. You can visit Coach Pauly C Facebook group or page. You can see the YouTube channel on Coach Pauly C. There's a playbook where you can get all this great stuff, even if you're not in Austin, Texas, or hit me up for any questions or concerns about what's happening with the playbook or with Power Hour. Another good one. Hey, referrals in Austin, Texas. Nicole Young. All right. Thanks, guys.